the back to school time right now. This is the time of year that students are picking up the violin for the first time. Parents are starting to navigate the world of beginning musical instruments, and there are a lot of pitfalls you can fall into. We want to talk about some of those today to help you figure out how to make good buying decisions when it comes to acquiring a beginning level instrument for yourself or for your child or student. Let's go ahead and get started. My name is Joe Joyner. I'm the owner of the Little Rock Violin Shop. I have been in the violin business for 20 years now, selling beginner level instruments, selling advanced level instruments, repairing bows, repairing violins. I'm also a professional violist. I play viola in the Arkansas Symphony as well as the Little Rock String Quartet. So I've got a lot of experience with musical instruments and a lot of experience with beginning level instruments especially. One of the reasons that people come to our shop is that they are wanting to learn a new instrument. We are always happy to guide people through that process of selecting a new instrument. Unfortunately, though, oftentimes when people come into the shop, they have already purchased an instrument, a low-quality, inexpensive violin from Amazon, from eBay. They think they've gotten a great deal, but they've brought it to us because they can't seem to make the instrument work. We see this all the time, and unfortunately, we often have to be the bearer of bad news that they don't actually own a violin, they own a violin-shaped object. That is a musical instrument that in all ways resembles a violin, but in practical functionality terms it does not operate as one. So today we're going to talk about these violin-shaped objects, how to avoid them, what you see when you've got one, and what the cost of owning one of these will be. And then hopefully by the end of that we will have deterred you from acquiring one of these, and we can help direct you towards buying or renting a quality instrument that will actually be enjoyable to play, enjoyable to make music with. So let's take a look at one of these violin-shaped objects. I got two violins here. I'm going to put them both up for you. So here we go. So first look, at first glance, not much difference, but as we kind of go through this, we're going to start to see some of the differences are quite glaring. So the one on my left, your right here, this is the violin-shaped object. And then the one here, this is our Model 110. It's our entry-level beginner violin that we sell here in the shop. And we're going to go over what some of the differences you'll see between a violin-shaped object and a good quality beginner-level instrument. So we're going to start up here at the top. So this part here is called the scroll. The scroll of the violin is decorative, but it also holds the pegs and strings of the violin. So the pegs are used to tune the violin, make large adjustments to the pitch of the strings. On a good quality violin, these pegs are made out of ebony. Ebony is a dense hardwood. It is very durable, lasts a long time, and will hold up to tuning over a long period of time. Here, on our violin-shaped object, this is actually a soft white wood that has been painted black to look like ebony, and so this is probably an instrument that was used for about a year. And you can see over time these pegs the wood has compressed because it's very soft. The pegs have started working their way deep into these peg holes, and to the point where this peg can't go any further. It's not going to be able to hold pitch anymore, and so at this point this violin is not a tunable instrument. Also with tuning, if we look down here at our tailpiece, so having on our tailpiece here we have fine tuners. These are very important for doing the fine adjustments to pitch on the strings. You know, a lot of these beginner level violin-shaped objects, bargain instruments, will have the tailpieces with built-in fine tuners, but unlike the one on our nicer violin, which is made out of a good quality carbon composite material, has screws that turn easily and last for a long time. On this one we have a metal tail that's made out of like a cheap pot metal, and the screws here are notorious for bending, warping, stripping, or just breaking off altogether, like we have on this violin, where the E-string tuner, which is the most important one you need, has just completely broken off. So at this point this tailpiece is not serviceable and would just need to be replaced. Going back up here, got some more painted white wood. So our fingerboard on a good quality instrument is going to be made out of ebony. You can see over probably a year of playing, this student has leached off all of the the paint onto their fingers. So I imagine every time they got done playing, they had fingertips that were black from the paint that's worn off onto their fingers. We have the same thing down here with the chin rest, where we can see the paint that's been used to paint this white softwood to make it look like ebony has started to wear off, has bleached off onto somebody's chin. So just kind of looking at the basic materials of the violin, not very good quality. Looking at the body of the instrument, a good quality violin is going to be made with spruce on the top of the instrument, maple for the back, ribs, and neck. On this one, the neck may be maple, the ribs might be maple, but the top and back of the instrument are actually made out of plywood. So not a good quality material, not going to produce a good sound, and so not great materials used in this. Those are kind of things that will affect the long-term durability of the instrument, but in the short term, the most important thing is how does it play? You know, we can deal with these long-term issues if it's just a beginner level instrument, but if in the short term it doesn't work, then that's going to be a problem for a beginner. When we're looking at a beginner level instrument, we're going to be looking for a good quality setup. So what goes into a good quality setup? We're going to start up here at the nut. So the nut is where the strings come out of the peg box and start to go over the fingerboard here. It's important that the nut be the correct height so that the strings are a comfortable level above the fingerboard here. Having the strings at the right height will make it easy for a beginner to push the strings down. I don't know how well you can see this, but these strings are very, very high off the fingerboard. This nut is very, very tall, and this would actually be difficult for me to play, and I've been playing for 30 years. So these strings would be, I think, very, very difficult for a beginner to be able to push down and make a good sound with. We also have a bridge down here, which is also much too high. These are all things that we're going to find with an inexpensive violin. We're going to find cheap strings that need to be replaced relatively soon. They'll break very easily. So what are all the cost of all these things? Just in terms of dollars, replacing all these parts, setting one of these violin shaped objects up properly can cost anywhere from $200 to $400 even. When these people bring these in, we often have to hand them a bill that's cost prohibitive for them to be able to want to spend that kind of money to fix up an instrument of this quality. So when you see that $50, $75, $100 price tag on eBay or Amazon, just know that there are hidden costs that come with owning an instrument like this. And these are costs that aren't just dollars and cents. They are also lost class time, lost lesson time for teachers. A lot of teachers won't even let their students bring these to class because they'll have to spend 3, 4, 5 minutes just trying to get your student's instrument in tune. And that's time that they're not spending teaching the other students in the class. So we oftentimes have parents that come in, they've bought one of these violins, and their teacher has said, nope, take it back. You can't have that in my classroom. So then they come to us to get a good quality instrument. But the most important cost of owning one of these is the joy of making music. If you have an instrument that you can't keep in tune, you're not going to want to pull it out of the case. If you have an instrument that doesn't sound good, you're not going to enjoy playing that instrument. So yeah, the joy of making music is going to be your main cost of owning one of these cheap violins. So what are the other options? Obviously, we'd be very happy to sell you a good quality student violin, but we understand that oftentimes for a beginner, they're not willing to put that kind of money into a good quality instrument. So we have a great option, which is renting. For less than the cost of buying one of these violin-shaped objects, you can rent a violin for 3 months. We rent our violins quarterly, so you pay for 3 months at a time, $60, $75, $90 a quarter. We'll get you a very good quality instrument. That'll get you an instrument that is professionally set up, has good quality American-made strings, has good quality parts and fittings, and most importantly will be an instrument that will be enjoyable to play. So other benefits of renting an instrument are going to be the ability to trade up to a bigger size at any time. We have students that start as young as 6 years old, maybe even younger. Those students are going to need 4, 5, 6 instruments before they get ready for a full-size instrument. So with our rental program, you're able to build up rental credit that you can use to purchase an instrument later on. There's no limit to the amount of rental credit you can build up. So as long as you're renting, you'll just keep building up rental credit, and that will allow parents to rent smaller violins until they get ready for a full size, and then have a significant amount of money in rental credit they can use to buy a better quality full-size violin that will be their student's ultimate instrument. In addition to the rental credit benefit of renting, the other great benefit of renting is it comes with insurance. So anytime you have broken strings, any problems with the bow case, accidents, somebody drops the instrument, sits on the instrument, all of that is going to be covered. So you'll be able to just bring the instrument in, we'll fix it, replace it at no cost to you. So you'll always have that peace of mind knowing that you're always going to have a good quality, well-adjusted violin. So, like I said, we'd be very happy to help you find a good quality instrument. We've got a Book Now link in our description here that'll take you to our website where we have a calendar where you can book appointments to come in. And if you're not ready to get started right now, please like our Facebook page, like our Instagram page, get on our mailing list at littlerockviolinshop.com/contact us, or just message us on social media on Facebook or Instagram. So we'd be very happy to help you find a good beginner level instrument. And yeah, so that's what I've got today, and really appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Thanks.